So we'll move on to item number 5. I need a possible motion to go back into open session.
Motion. Second.
All in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to item number 6, discussion and possible motion concerning the city administrator position.
I will make a motion based on the agreed terms between the city and Chris Phillip that we accept his resignation with the following conditions. A undisclosed dollar amount, a non-disclosure agreement, a non-disparaging agreement, and subject to city attorney review.
That's the whole list. Need a second?
Yes.
Second.
So all in favor?
Do we do it one at a time so we can hear? I know it's not a resolution.
It's not a requirement, but well, we always record who does the ayes and who does the nays, but
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Nay.
so 4-1. Okay. Thank you. Item number 7 was discussion and possible motion is the date for a special meeting. I don't feel that's any longer needed. So no action on that item. Next, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Any questions on the consent agenda? I just want to point out that our state auditor's report is in there. And was a good report. And that's available to anyone in the public that would like to see it.
It's on our website.
Right, it's on the website.
Is there anything of note for I or J? As far as like the liquor renewal and then the ballot renewal,
What do you mean, anything to know?
any issues that,
Not that I'm aware of.
you know, I ask every time.
Any other questions or comments? On the consent agenda, hearing none, I need a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Just like we did a bridge report on the bridge we're ripping out.
Miss Miller, I'm happy to stay if you'd like me to stay.
That's up to you, but I think you need.
Have a nice evening.
Both the other agenda items aren't the wrong person.
Thank you, enjoy your job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, you'll find in your packet, council, that you have reports from the various department heads. You also have the sheriff's report for the prior month. Don't know that we have anyone here from, we've got our deputy, but I don't think he is in a report. We'll just refer to the report. Any questions for any other departments that are reported?
Just the flagpole for the Legion. Sorry, you go first.
No, you said it.
I didn't know how much you talked with the Legion on potentially putting one up, considering the timetable of the library seems to be up in flux.
Yeah, there's been some discussion on that. A few of the members of the Legion expressed concern of where their current flag is located, and for those that don't know, it's on the front of their building underneath the power line. So it also has a risk of interfering with that, as well as maintaining that puts people in danger. Also, for those that don't know, the Legion's property and property lines are extremely tight. And the city does currently own the old apartment building, which has been renovated into a recycled asphalt parking lot. Now with the library coming up, I've asked a member of the American Legion, Paul, to maybe give us a rendering or something like that, what they're proposing. I think what they're looking to do is maybe on the front corner, on the inside of the sidewalk on Main Street in Vanderbilt, maybe doing a 3 flag pole with a all guards represented and something like that, but that's gonna maybe interfere with the library's projected growth on that building addition. So trying to figure out the best plan of action there. So they're gonna be working on a rendering on that and kind of want to put it a bug in everybody's ear to maybe see what's gonna be the best tactic for giving up a small portion of that, size unknown. Let's just throw out a number of 5 by 8 on the inside corner. And maybe that could be possibly incorporated into the library's future growth. So that's something that's in the works right now. We don't have any renderings right now, but sourcing ideas currently.
So that would be in current city properties, is that what you're saying,
Yeah.
Eric? And say again, we're in the corner of,
On the corner of Main Street and Vanderbilt. So it would be on the inside. It's kind of where the bank used to park all the time.
right,
So it'd be in line with their front of their building. They just do not have the real estate to be able to properly banish the flag up and have a light on it.
would an easement be required then?
It would to protect it and keep it in that easement. The power would be ran from that building. It currently is millings, which is easily dug up and buried. Have a light for display as required. And this is something that could be incorporated, I believe, into the library as far as an overall facade. But obviously not the ruling body on, you guys want to allow that or not, and this is not, like I said, been presented properly with a
Right,
rendering.
right. So just an FYI.
It is, and I think it's gonna happen pretty quickly. There's a lot of excitement to maybe do that. So,
Is this the northwest corner of Main and Vanderbilt, right on the,
Yeah.
where those little pilings used to be in the
Yep,
corner?
yeah, in that corner. So it wouldn't make sense going down any further. In my opinion, with the driveway, the old driveway being there. We also talked about maybe going closer to the building. Again, still on city property, still inside the sidewalk. Closer to the building, maybe that would be okay too, but. That's about it. The only other option they have is on the rear of the building, the rear entrance. On the library side, and that's extremely tight. You're talking touching the building to stay inside the property. So it's pretty tight, island there.
Well, and also would be blocked by the library.
It would. If that new addition that goes up, if it's any louder and proud at all, it's gonna be hidden completely, so. Wanting to eliminate that and think down the future smartly, I think that front corner would be probably the best place to showcase that.
Okay, so we'll wait for rendering.
Yep, and then we'll present that.
Will this be, presented to the library board as well?
I think the concept should probably, maybe even go through P and Z and include the library at that point, just to make sure that they're all good with it, cause I know. On our comp plan, we were recently talking about beautification of downtown. And the updates that could potentially come with that, so this needs to be included on multiple parties. Just to make sure everybody's got cohesion with that and good faith going forward, that it turn out the way we want.
I appreciate the giving that the thought, because leaving people out is not a good idea.
Nope, I think it's mandatory at this point. I mean, everybody's gotta get along with that idea.
Okay, any other questions on the department reports?
I do. Is Joe not here anymore?
You know.
He may be on phone.
I'm right here,
Okay.
I'm right here.
I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard this, how wonderful the staff is at going through the park, checking all the equipment, picking up trash. I am just so pleased that the citizens should see how wonderful the staff is at doing all that, making sure the equipment's safe for the children. So attaboy, wonderful. I think that's great.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I also want to include Brian and his group in there as well, his staff, because they also help out with that.
Well, I witnessed them. I mean, they don't just look at it. They were actually tugging on stuff. They were screwing things down. I mean, they do an amazing job. I was just so pleased to see that was the safety of our children. And taking pride in the parks that, I mean, they were picking up stuff that,
Thank you.
it was just wonderful. I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments or questions on department reports?
So Brian,
Mhm.
you have in here the 151 closing April through December. I guess we could say tentatively at this point, right?
Yes,
Um. That's obviously a pretty big deal.
it is. We just recently found out about that, so Joanne asked that I put it out there so everybody can see it and know about it.
So I think that's probably something for us to keep our eye on, that as we talk about that, anything else that you have on your list, that's probably the perfect timing to knock that out.
Sure, it would be easier.
Yeah,
Next year we're referring to.
April of 27.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that the project in the south?
From Williams Boulevard to the Norway corner.
Well, yeah, all the way down Walford.
And they said Norway corner, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Fairfax represent, I know the guy that they.
yeah.
A
It's very-
DOT
yeah.
part,
Yeah.
not our project, it's
Yeah.
DOT part.
Yes.
About a year ago, they were doing a survey on that area, getting residents input and everything, and then it was all quiet for a while.
Yeah, and then it kind
All
of
of a sudden
caught us by
it's-
surprise that they brought it up during the meeting. It's like, oh, that's, okay, that's quick.
And that's what they're hoping, but I met with the guy that's involved with the project this morning, get some information and coordinate some things with them, and they've added some things and obviously with the data center traffic, so he acknowledges very aggressive. That's still the plan, is to have that project constructed next year, but they don't have any plans put together yet for it, so.
And you said it's starting around when the Williams Boulevard railroad track thing, or
Yeah,
where will it start?
Where you would turn onto Williams Boulevard to go towards the tracks, it'd be just to the north of that. 50 feet or so.
So by the, South Africa, by the block.
Yes.
Or thingy.
yeah, there's a change in pavement there, you can see, that's what they want to connect to. And then all the way down through Walford, and just shy of the Norway curve there. West of Walford.
It's gonna be a mess.
It's gonna be nice.
If they continue, the traffic will be way less. Unless they find their way to go through town, which is what we're hoping that happens.
Temporary bumpers.
Or they just close the river off.
That's it.
Any other questions on department reports? Okay, we'll move on to item number 10. Which is a public hearing regarding fiscal year 27 budget. How our public hearings occur is first we open the public hearing. Then the council will discuss the public hearing contents. Well, first we'll have a brief presentation on what's included. Council will discuss, open it to any public members in attendance or on the phone. And then we'll close. So we're gonna start off by opening the public hearing. Cynthia, want to talk a little bit about what we're doing?
Sure, this is, so the last, the special meetings, you had the hearing about just the tax levy for fiscal 27. This is to adopt the entire budget. And the state requires cities to have a hearing and then take action to approve the budget before the end of April. So we're still within the time frame. This shows all the projected revenues and expenses. I tell clerks, I mentor this all the time, that, you can amend anything except the tax levy when it gets to, and we almost always do 2 amendments. So this is our best guess today, but I can tell you that, the projected amount of the GL bond, we had a meeting, and we asked Maggie to increase, the proposal a little bit. that did not get in this because of the hearing publication requirements. So we already know that there's at least one tweak, but there'll be lots of different tweaks. But it's our best guess right now, and as we discussed during our budget process.
Thank you. And we always like to point out that our property tax levy per thousand of property assessed value continues to remain at $8.10 per thousand, has been for many years. Cynthia, did we receive any comments in advance of the public hearing?
Not at City Hall, no.
Does anyone here tonight have any questions regarding our budget? Council, any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and we'll move on to consider a resolution to approve the city's fiscal 27 budget. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to item 12, discussion on possible motion concerning the Fairfax Lions Club 2026 5K Run for USA Days. They have, please announce who you are, sir.
I'm Paul Melly, and I am representing the Fairfax Lions Club. And this year for our 5K race, we're going to have a different route than we've had the last 9 to 10 years. We're gonna actually start at the sports complex. We've worked with Joe Kell on this. We will be crossing the railroad tracks, but we've also communicated with Trevero and they're willing to set the time so they do not have a train. And as you'll see, we're starting at the park, going across railroad tracks down Southview where we will do a U-turn, head on back, and head all the way down to Church Street, where we will then turn on Reynolds, and then come back on Park Street, and then on Lynn, and go back into the park near the War Memorial, run the path, and in back at the start. And again, I've been working with Joe, actually going to be helping us out with some cones and some other items. So we want to let you know, I know in the past, we've asked for permission, whatever, to run on the streets.
So, Paul, what day and what time?
This will be the Saturday morning, USA Fairfax USA Days. And the race starts at 8. Everyone is pretty much done by 9. We do reports. We're out there.
And registration, and previous years you did registration here in the community room. Where will it be called?
At the sports complex. I don't know what it's called, by the concession stand.
And as part of our ongoing USA Day committee meetings, I asked Paul to come here as soon as possible with that route. And I've gave an early heads up to our lake construction people to let them know what's going on, what weekend it is. And I will give them further contact if council gives permission for this, so that they know on that Saturday that they should have employees and or construction traffic going through that route. Any questions, Paul? Not need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
We have another 5K run to talk about here. This is the Ticked Off Line Foundation. And please introduce yourself, team.
Tina Rose Krantz, 231 Park Street. This is our 4th year for this 5K. Actually be pretty close to the road the Lions Club did last year and the road I did last year. We do not close any of the roads. The only thing that gets closed is if somebody comes through and drops payment off between 7 a.m. and 8:30, they have to turn right and go drive that way instead of hanging left and go that way. We start registration, check-in about 7, and run starts about 8, and we're usually out of here by 10:30 for the go.
Any questions for Tina on this 5K? Hearing none, need a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Move on to item number 14. This regards, change in our solid waste rate. Cynthia, do you want to provide some information?
Well, we make an adjustment every year based on the contractor's, pricing. The 5-year contract that we sign with them has an increase each year. And we had discussed this proposed rate during our budget special. And so this is the meeting where typically we do the ordinance, and you can see it be effective June 20th. So it would be on the June 30th bills, and so then that first revenue month in the new fiscal year. To pay for their bill for July.
So,
Second.
need a roll call, please, Cynthia?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I,
Does, council want to consider suspending the rules?
Motion to suspend.
What's, backing up before you do that, Mike, Cynthia, was this in the facts,
It's on the front page of the next one. I've already got it.
on the next facts?
And that's what it was last year too. I mean, I opened up last year's, oh, there it is.
And I believe last year, though, the council did at least 2 readings because it had been in the facts yet.
We can do 2 and save it for the last one for next month.
So do 2 and 3 next month.
We suspend the first one and then wait for final passage for next month.
That's. Okay, so do 2 tonight.
And the final one.
All right, start.
Yes,
So you motion to suspend the second reading
yes.
tonight. Okay, I need a second on that. I'll move second. Okay, need a roll call on that. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then the next opportunity is to consider motion for final passage and adoption.
And that will be on the May agenda.
Hearing no motion, we will move that forward to the May agenda for final. Okay. Thank you. Moving on to item number 13. Is there a resolution to award, the sanitary sewer rehab project? Shane, please.
Yeah, so we received 4 competitive quotes. The CIT Sewer Solutions was the low find base quote and alternate quote number 1.
Shane, I'm gonna ask to speak up just a little bit.
Yeah, turn the mic on.
The mic
Is it on?
Yeah, it's not coming through very good.
Here's the button.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably just enough.
Just push. To toggle. There you go.
There you go.
You hear me?
That's better.
Yeah, so we received 4 quotes, CIT Sewer Solution. With the base quote and alternate quote item number 1 was the low bidder at $178,524. We would recommend the award to CIT Sewer Solutions.
And when did this project begin, Shane?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Sometime here, this, I think, Brian, do you recall?
I think it was summertime.
Yeah, I think it was summertime,
I
sometime.
think June 1st was the early start.
That's what I was thinking was June 1st. Maybe June 21st was a late start date or something like that. They basically got about 3 weeks to get the work done.
So,
The ultimate, maybe 4 weeks, but yeah.
excuse me for just a second. So the reason I asked that question, that we would have an opportunity maybe at the May meeting to know a little bit more about that and start giving residents some heads up?
But yeah, we can reach out and find out what their schedule's looking like. Definitely, yeah.
Because that could impact some residents, correct?
Yeah, they'll be in backyards, you know.
Right, so.
I don't know if it'll affect anybody like it did before, as far as businesses or anything, you know, within a house, but they'll wanna know, because they'll be in their backyards for sure.
So we could have, possibly have that for the main meeting.
Sure.
Okay, yes, please have that for the base.
Yeah, okay.
No possible, can we just do it, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, excuse me, Mary, and I
But
want
this was under budget by what, 21 and a half?
Well, I mean, yeah, yes, you don't really truly know until the project's constructed, but yeah, it's under budget. We had 200,000 for it, so it's around 21,000 under that, so that should be. Never know until the project is completed, but that gives us some rate, possible change orders.
I think in the bond, we had planned for 225. That's what we did, the other phase too, so, but.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
I.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have a series of pay apps. That looks like Shane's gonna talk to us about. Item number 16 is pay app number 4. Schrader Excavating, for well number 4 in the amount of 239,492 plus. Shane?
Yep, so this is for a well project. And a lot of this work is from work that Northway had completed, doing pump tests. Other items that they've done for the observation well and well number 4. And Brian, do you know, did they get that that additional pumping done?
They did.
Yeah, so they did an additional 4 hours of pumping here late last week and collected a few more samples, and hopefully that project will be brought to completion here in the next, well, so Schrader should get out and do a little bit of grading here in the next few weeks, and then the city can seed it. We'll probably wait till probably June, get back the water quality sample results.
Any other questions for Shane? Hearing none. Need a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please, Mary.
I.
Aye.
Aye.
Item number 17 is another pay application. This is number 5. For Boomerang for West Cemetery Road, the amount of 111,277 plus. Shane?
Yep, so this is for the project there at the West Cemetery Road intersection with 151 Eagle View Drive installment. And most of this work is for water main that they have completed. Now they're doing some site grading and are trying to get some paving started here at the end of this week.
Any questions for Shane? Hearing none, need a motion to approve, please.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please, Cindy.
I.
Aye.
Aye. Abstain. Thank you. What is the application under item number 18, number 7? Peak construction Portland Heights Park restrooms and pavilion in the amount of 5,431,000, excuse me, 431 plus. Shane?
Yeah, this is for some general conditions and then the pavilion. And they do have a little bit more work to finish up. They paved I think Eric was at the pad for the pavilion and then the stoops for the restroom today.
That is correct.
Yeah, they got a little more paving to do, a little bit of touch up work, but that project's getting close to being finished up.
We haven't anticipated a date.
I think the for the contract schedule, I think the completion date was on the 1st of June to have it up and running by the time school gets out. But they're, I can't speak for them that they'll get it done before that, but they definitely are in a position to get it done well before that.
I can speak on that. The power's been tested, so everything electronically has been tested. There is water that has been into the building that, all the plumbing items have been pressure tested. And Shane, like you was saying, the concrete, I also went and looked and inspected the rebar and the pour before and after. The pour looks good. What they're doing right now is just the doorways, which there's 3 of men's, women's, and then an auxiliary door in the back for the maintenance area. They will do that final sidewalk stuff coming up. Finish grade, and another thing, Shane, I might be jumping your gun, but seeding will happen after that. Because as per the contract, it was chosen to be seeded instead of sodded. So there will be some undone looks as the grass grows. But grading to follow. Sorry, Shane.
Any questions? On pay app number 7 for peak. How many more pay apps do we think? Shane, I don't know if I heard you say that. Is this the final or
I think that's the final payout.
final?
Anything additional be done is already covered by whatever.
Oh, you mean the final for this project? No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
Yes.
think
Oh, I thought you
that.
meant final tonight.
Oh.
No, that's not good.
It was worth a try.
None of those 3 projects are at their final payout.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Yes.
I need a motion to approve pay app number 7, which is not the final.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please, Mary.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 19. Consider resolution to approve Terracon's construction engineering agreement for the West Cemetery Road Bridge Construction Project. Shane.
So this is for Terracon's materials services for the bridge project. It includes, some compaction testing, concrete testing, plant observation for the concrete and the asphalt as part of this project. Concrete, they'll break the beams and so on and so forth. Any questions with that?
And the anticipated start date on the project itself.
It's June 1st. And hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll get well, it'll probably be at this point, very end of April, first week or so in May. We hope to have the pre-construction meeting with Schrader Construction, which is not Shane Schrader, but it's a bridge contractor. Actually did the bridge at the Harbor Nights Pond.
And this is there in the $18,916, that's the contract amount.
Yes, yep, that's correct.
For engineering services only.
For Terracon's engineering services, yes.
It's
Yeah.
basically for all the testing that's required.
Any other questions for Shane? If not, I need a motion to approve the engineering agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Cindy.
Aye.
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 Okay, moving on to item number 20, consider resolution to approve corridor energy cooperative forms. Sophia, do you have some information on that?
Well, this is for the Heartland Heights park project, the electrical there. They want us to sign 2 different forms. And pay 500, 500's on the claims list.
So. Anybody have any detail on that, Eric? Shane?
It's basically, what is it? Used to be Lake County REC, corridor.
They changed their name.
It's their basic fee agreements for setting up a electrical service for a lot.
It's gonna be underground, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Since the city's lot is.
So are things in order that we approve their forms? Eric says yes. Council have any questions?
What did you say?
It's a Heartland Heights Park.
Electric. To run the
I
electric.
know the address is on the sign, I probably should pay attention when I drive by every day.
Okay, need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Cindy.
Aye.
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 Okay. Item number 21, discussion of possible motion on seal coat quotes for 2026. There's Brian, please.
Yep, this is, going around with Randy, this is what, we come up with for the roads that need the most attention at this point. And that's his bid for it. Which is a little less than they spent last year.
So Brian, we already previously approved them to do the project, correct?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, we voted to use their, bid quantity, or not quantity,
Their rate.
their rate, exactly, sorry. Yeah, use their rate, and then this is what we come up with for what, needs attention with road cracking and whatnot, so. It seems all correct for what we looked at, so I recommend going with it.
Brian, I have a question. I just spotted this now. On the first page, items number 3 and 4. Is that gonna be impacted by what Layton's going to do?
I can't read them, I'm sorry.
Oh, this is about Southview and 151 and Williams Boulevard and 151 where they're doing their.
So the south, one of them is the west side of the highway, or north side if you wanna call it, but it's west to south view. So there's a little
That's
piece that goes out to
Okay,
the,
so there's the highway.
that piece is one of them. And then the other one is,
It says Williams Boulevard and 151.
okay, so
By the
that's,
railroad track.
that's going, I think that's gonna be in front of Stutzman's. That little piece in front of,
That's the piece that we were gonna do.
nope.
No.
No, so they're coming down the intersection going north and south on Williams, and then they're gonna come off of it 15, 20 feet or something as a blend, or whatever it's gonna be. And it'll be from that position on, I believe. So, yes, it was not going over anything that's gonna be addressed with, the overlay project. The one on Williams is gonna go from the railroad tracks to the highway though, that does need attention, that nobody's doing anything with, so it goes from the railroad tracks to the highway on the side that we're not doing anything.
So this one, there, the first part, total was 57,975.95.
Okay,
And then on the backside, there's like Railroad Street and Reynolds and Seaman at 25,214.
yep,
So
and what that is split is two different kinds of rock that they use. One's using all like limestone type chips, and one is the pea gravel, river gravel looking stuff, which is mostly what's downtown. That's how he splits it up when he does it.
So what time of year do they typically do this?
This will be after USA Days.
And after Layton's
Yes, that project is,
project?
it's supposed to be done before USA Days is what the plan was, when we talked to him, so.
Council, any further questions? Just need a motion to approve their quote. Brian, excuse me, did you say it was less than what we,
Yeah, I believe this is a little less than what we spent this year on the same effort. It's a few $1,000s less anyway, it's not a huge amount.
motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 22, discussion of possible motion on King's concrete purchase order. Brian, it's still there.
If, just put a purchase order together, cause I didn't know how fast the, concrete was gonna be poured, so if an invoice come in, that's gonna be over 10,000. This was my best guess at the time on how much we were gonna do, so I put this together and figured hopefully we're covering our bases. There's plenty of money there for it, we're gonna be way under the total, it's all said and done, so. More of a technicality than anything. We had one piece done.
As Brian mentioned, council needs to approve anything over $10,000.
Yep.
Need a motion?
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next, discussion on possible motion concerning the fireworks purchase order.
I'm the target if you have questions, I guess.
Is that enough?
Is it enough? I don't know. Depends on your perspective, but that's, yeah, that's what they come up with. Bank filled out the PO for it, so. So anything I can answer.
Second.
Second. Third.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Was that 5?
Yes, I heard a reluctant one at the end, but.
What's that?
Okay. All right, item number 24, discussion and possible motion concerning full-time public works. One position.
So we have one position left. We interviewed 2 candidates on Tuesday, no,
Monday.
Monday, yeah. We chose, Tristan to be the one that we preferred. And, are recommending that we hire him full-time. And when school gets out, which I believe was the 18th of May, he was being available for that. For that position.
And the hiring committee recommended $22 an hour. And then if there's a favorable 90-day review, $23 an hour. I did talk to each of the applicants and Tristan was thrilled with that offer. And then Braylon is, for if you take action on the part-time, we're gonna keep his app on file and compare it to the others for that position.
So this is on the full-time position.
Yes.
Any questions for Brian? None, need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Chip, why are you still up there? Do we want to counsel with your permission? Can you talk about the part-time position?
Well, I can go back out.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who says.
Whatever you want to do.
I'm okay with moving it since it's great. Yeah, as long as you talk about public works positions.
They're not number,
27.
there's 27.
Yeah, so we've been, 6 full-time, 2 part-time, 2 part-times usually during when school's out, summertime when we need the most help with mowing and whatnot. Right now, with the adjustment in personnel, we only have 1, and, luckily he's been around to fill a gap here for a while, so, looking to see if we can get another part-time to help out, so we can continue to keep doing what we've been doing and get as much done as we can otherwise. That's what we're hoping for.
That's for the Braylon, correct?
It would be, he would be an applicant towards it, we would.
Well, yeah,
post it again.
yeah.
Yep,
Technically,
yep, we posted again and then, yeah,
So this is not an additional position, it just puts you at full staffing?
yes. As to what we were. previous.
Essentially, it's replacing Keegan, who went full-time, who used to be part-time.
Yes, who filled gaps for between Eric, Dallas, and then whatever, yep.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm understanding that I think now we posted somewhere.
Not tomorrow, because I'm not in tomorrow. I'm in Des Moines tomorrow, but Thursday.
We'll get that ball rolling.
Sounds good.
Okay. So, did 27 early, so that brings us back to item number 25. Discussion of possible motion concerning the city clerk treasurer position.
I've got a packet of information there, just be aware to use the numbers by each one, that's the order that we interviewed them in. one of the applicants has not let her current employer know, so she asked. That we, if we talk and open, that, we just use the numbers. She was fine, you know, as long as we did that.
Motion for one.
Yeah. Yes, that would, I'm not sure what the process is, I think that. Go ahead and say whatever you want.
I make a
Using numbers,
motion
right?
that we hire number one at 82,000 salary with flexible time.
Are we not going to discuss the, how you're going to have a clerk not there on Fridays and cover customer service?
I said flexible, everybody, there are several other people that are employees that have flexible time. Why would she be singled out to not have flexible? time?
Because she wants every single Friday off.
I don't know that that's exactly the case.
That's not what
That's
she
what I
said.
understood. I would guess that if somebody needs a day off. Number
She
one would be
would
more
be
than
there.
willing to readjust her schedule. I don't see an issue with that.
Yes, I agree with that.
I
wholeheartedly.
was fairly confident in that situation.
But that was not discussed in the interview, right?
Well, we talked about it, but we didn't go in that way.
Yeah,
You know,
we did.
so I think, you know, being on the hiring committee, meeting all of the candidates.
She was the best
Second,
candidate,
I would
yes.
definitely agree with. So if that's your motion, I'll second.
So is she working 10 hours a day, Monday through Thursday?
That's what she requested.
Okay.
Potential.
I mean, or is she, as long as she's meeting.
Okay.
Number
Number
one
one,
is meeting a full work.
I think that would be a process. That we would
Well,
figure out.
yeah, if that is what she wants to stick with, it will not work with customer service in the clerk's office.
So how do we handle staffing for that position on Fridays then?
You know, if Stacy wants to take her vacation, or Tina wants to take her vacation, or if they are sick, or they have a family event, that takes you down to one, and the other one can't have something, or she would have to change her flexible schedule.
I think that's just flexibility of that position. Like, for instance, you're taking tomorrow off,
No,
Right.
I'm going to a conference in Des Moines,
but you're
For
not
the
at
city.
City Hall, but you're not at
Yeah.
City Hall.
right,
So
but
regardless
I'm
of,
working. Yeah,
understood,
okay.
but you're not at
Mhm.
your desk there to greet people, and you've made people aware that this is a situation we need to cover for your
Right,
physical absence.
we do it occasionally all the time, because of course Tina and I and Stacy all get vacation. I'm just saying when that's her every week, then it becomes a problem, but maybe she'll be flexible.
I think that's just a conversation, that
Yeah.
can't be if everyone's on vacation that week, or out Friday because of whatever, that there just has to be coverage of some sort. Whoever it is, however that is.
Well, what are the thoughts about number one for Cynthia's comments on page 2?
I don't think you wanna have that conversation right now.
I'm not comfortable with that conversation. We interviewed for her position.
Exactly.
I think that we have some learning to do. And as far as the flexibility, I get the concern. I understand that concern, and being in a salary position. You know, she has to come in. I don't think that she would refuse that request if it was necessary. And that's just the limited knowledge that I've seen so far.
And that's just performance expectation.
But I
So the topic is discussion possible motion concerning city clerk treasurer position.
We had a motion and a second.
Motion has been, and so we're having discussion after the second. Any further discussion before we take a vote? Yeah, give me a minute.
This is the number one I recommended for this position back in August. My opinion hasn't changed on that.
Understood.
If I was on the hiring committee, I do believe that number one indicated she wanted to give 30 days notice.
Yes.
Right, just so council's aware. But if you make a decision this evening, that still works well within our,
And I think that's potentially flexible in the bit, but.
Can you clarify? AI software incorporated many places.
It was,
What do you mean?
Part
by
of her-
many places?
it
What
was
do you
part
mean?
of her answer all throughout the interview.
Lots of different subjects.
She's very knowledgeable in a lot of different areas and uses tools that personally are outside my wheelhouse at the moment, because I haven't used those tools, but. I know, don't look at me. So, from see it as a document, from see it as a plus, I don't know enough about the whole, situation, but, I think that.
No
Chance
offense,
needs to be taken.
no offense, I think it's a detriment to not use it.
I know.
She's helpful.
That she said she had to have to take the job is something she wished the council would consider allowing her to have and use.
Yeah.
So that should not be a detriment as to why.
Those are talking points, I think. Great.
She has so many qualities. She is so knowledgeable. She's actually coming up with her own software accounting that she's hoping the state of Iowa would utilize. That's gonna be a whole lot better than what we're buying into. That's how smart this woman is.
The entire hiring committee agreed that she should be a city of Fairfax employee. It's just the position is where the disagreement comes.
And at this point, it's for a city clerk treasurer. Nothing else should be discussed at this point.
It's not on the agenda.
Correct.
so I have a motion and a second. We've been having some discussion. Any further discussion before taking a vote? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
I have a question. If we hire her as a city treasurer clerk and we post for the other position, can she then apply for that?
I'm sure she will. Because
That might happen.
I had that conversation with her. She definitely said that that's the position she prefers.
So would not preclude her from applying at all.
Yeah, because we've done that with other positions. Current employees kind of certain. Okay. All right, so item number 26 is an updated employee compensation resolution that incorporates.
But I would make the change, to remove the city admin and to add applicant number 1 in the payroll resolution at the 82 salary position.
And also the public works person is in there already.
Yes, there are,
He's already in there.
yeah, and so is one
New
new
grounds
part.
crew.
Yeah.
So I need a motion
So
to
sorry,
approve as amended. Go ahead.
what were you saying? I didn't follow.
I need to remove Chris and add the person you just hired as clerk at 82 salary.
For another one, not this
Oh,
motion or,
I mean, I can edit this if you approve it as going to be edited. Yeah, that's why I was given that info.
okay,
So the motion needs to either state,
With the.
change it, bring it back.
Yeah, with
or
amendment.
Make it with changes.
So do we hear a motion?
Motion with proposed changes.
Someone?
Second.
All in favor, roll call, Marion.
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to item 28, discussion possible motion regarding battery recycling proposal. This was brought to our attention by our friends at Lynn County Solid Waste Agency. There's some information in your packet. Cynthia and I had some questions for them. Cynthia, you wanted to talk about it? You want me to talk about it?
No, you go ahead.
This would be to encourage people to recycle any kind of battery that they have. By bringing it to looks like a box. That would be placed in the lobby of City Hall in the entrance. When you first walk in, there's packaging instructions and how we would handle that. The questions we had were wondering about fire hazard. They don't want it in the landfill, so how does this help? And they said it's only a hazard if they drive over them, so. We also had a question about, isn't there a way we could put a box next to the glass recycling dumpster? So that if the ones stop. And they said no, because their packaging is not weather resistant. So it needs to go in a lobby area. Several other communities, if you go to their websites, other communities are already doing it. So.
And it's not every battery. They don't take large electrical vehicle batteries.
Well,
What
that's
sell, what? Oh,
I like
So. If you approve this, then I'm assuming in a short period of time, they'll be able to come out, get that set up. If we do it, approve it quickly, we could actually promote it in the next newsletter. But need your approval before telling them to go ahead and get it
And
set up.
this is a service that the Lynn County Agency is providing for communities.
Yeah.
At no cost to the community or the residents.
Correct. At least no direct costs. Any other questions?
Did I by chance say something?
Sure.
That's a little concerning, actually a lot concerning. The recycling is needed, 100% agree with it. The batteries that would be deposited into this, the requirements to contain a lithium battery is an actual burn bag. It has to go in there so the flames do not jump out of that. I think putting it in the lobby of our city hall is probably not a good idea. These batteries only take a puncture if they're dropped wrong, damaged, or already swelling. And a lot of you probably don't know that, but inside your phone is a flat battery. If you hit that, it will swell. That's an explosion waiting to happen. And it just needs to open up the rest of the way and then a fire starts. Now, I'm sure the bag or the depositing material is capable of holding that. So I knew car batteries wouldn't go in there because the off-gassing of that is already horrendous and corrosive. We experienced that at the fire station when a battery swelled and it smells a lot like sewer gas. Sometimes dying batteries can have that effect. I'm not trying to shoot it in the foot, but at the same time, I just want to wave on the side of caution that we may not want that in our vestibule if that's where it's projected to go. I don't know if that's quite a safe place to put it. It's a shame it's not outside.
That's what we were thinking. That's why we asked the question too.
Even in an old mailbox, it's metal.
I was gonna say, can we
Can we provide
come
that?
up with a,
I was gonna suggest fabricating something and putting it by the glass recycling.
That's
That's a great idea. That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, I like to dump on lithium batteries all the time and they're fire hazard. I don't think it's a good idea to put it right in the front.
as a concern of me is you have to trust the people that are putting these things in there, that they're gonna cover this with tape. They're gonna put it in a small plastic bag or just a cardboard. That's a big ask.
yeah, that was our concern too. And that's why we didn't want to say, yeah, we'll participate without council input.
Right.
But how do they handle it, like the phone trade-ins? Like you go into Walmart and they have those kiosks.
I'm sure Walmart.
Oh, you just
You
stick
just
the
live in
phone
a
in,
box.
anything you have to do.
No, I get that, but like is that safe and protected or?
Good question. I don't know. And if you're piling them on top of each other continually, something's gonna happen. A lot of them aren't fully charged, right? We don't know the charge rate when they go to take them and drop them off here. It's just it's a concern. You can YouTube multiple videos of people just messing around with a nail and a hammer and hitting it and watching it go. These can burn upwards of 2,000 degrees, which is not extinguishable by a fire extinguisher or water at that point. And applying water to this can actually make it worse and have a flashback on the person that's in the proximity. I happen to be in a lot of battery discussions, both personal and throughout the community here, projects and stuff. That's nature. A lot of these batteries, even in the little remote control cars that they have over in Cedar Rapids, they have requirements that when you're charging them, they're in a bag, they're in a sealed bag. Because once that fire starts, you can't put it out until this energy is dispersed. So take that mindset, and if you can picture a old school metal mailbox, I think that would be the best thing out there. Now, if they have to come in here and get the appropriate envelope, that's fine. Go out there and disperse of it, I think that would be good. I'm just giving you my opinion. I know I'm not part of your voting committee, but I just, no hazard when I see them.
Can we get more information about what might be acceptable for us to make for?
Yeah.
outside?
What are other communities doing? They have to have the same concerns that we do.
Yeah, I don't know, on their website, it lists who's doing it, but doesn't talk about,
Can you reach out to
it
them?
talks about their building, but it doesn't say.
Joe would know what they're doing. Maybe we need
Joe
to
might.
reach out to him, find out what.
Yeah, we can ask more questions
Did
and
you
see if
say-
anybody's doing
Did they
something.
say waterproof is what they were looking for?
Well, just whether consider, because the container they're providing us look like a cardboard box to me,
Okay.
so that's not gonna.
There's no problem. No, not at all, you're right. Non-flammable, hardware is good, new technology.
So, instead of doing a motion tonight, we'll just ask some more questions as to how we could customize it to our needs, if possible.
And I apologize if I disrupted that.
Oh, no, that's fine. We need that kind of input. Thank you. All right, so that was number 28. Number 29, we're moving on. Easy to set the public hearing date. The next one isn't, what we're doing it for isn't so easy. Consider a motion to set the public hearing date of May 12th, our next council meeting, for the proposal to enter into a general obligation corporate person purpose loan agreement and borrow money. So we're just setting the public hearing date. That's all I need a motion for tonight. And then next month, we'll have to post the information in advance, et cetera. And that's based off of the discussions we've had previously on projects, so.
And, you know, I mentioned earlier that we raised the amount, they were gonna do the public hearing amount for 700,000, which is a little bit more than we need. When Mayor Beer and Shane and Brian and I met, we were talking about the Vanderbilt project and what it might cost for just the city portion. And that's why we added the possible borrowing. I mean, that doesn't mean you have to borrow that amount. That just gives you the ability to. You'll have more details about that, and Maggie had given some breakdowns for the lower amount, but you'll have breakdowns of this higher amount. And if you wanna go 10 years or 12 years or 15 years, you'll have that at the next meeting. We said that if we went. But we have the Vanderbilt thing to 310, I think, that if that didn't happen, because the UP and the DOT are deciding if they're pulling out of program. That, and if we couldn't just do, our part, which is about 300,000, that we have another sewer lining phase to do, right? And that is gonna be in the bond purposes already for phase 3, and so we could just reallocate that money to phase 4 then. That's why we felt that we were safe by considering it anyway.
So for tonight, all we need is the public hearing date to be set on.
At the meeting?
Yes, so. Need a roll call, please, Cindy?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Move on to item number 13, consider resolution providing for the certification of delinquent charges for all other collectors taxes. Cynthia, wanna,
This is just a utility account that, we will be turning in as taxes for collection. We've done it. Not a lot, thank goodness, but we have done it before.
So this just goes as a lien against
Yeah.
the property.
Mhm.
Well, is it against the property or is it against any tax refund he receives? I know that law.
No, it's against well, this is written to go against the property and then collected like property taxes.
Oh.
so I need a motion to approve that process occurring on this property.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Need a motion to approve proceeding.
Motion.
Second.
Need a roll call, Marianne?
Aye.
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 Okay, item number 31. Discussion of possible motion concerning citywide garage sale.
This is kind of after the fact. I got to thinking, oh, we've already put this in the newsletter. I'm not sure the council's made a motion to that. So I'm assuming you still want to do the citywide garage sale and have the city organize the registrations and the map. I hope so. Yeah, and what made me think of it is the Clean It Day flyer, and I thought, did I have them take action on the? Yeah, so anyway.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, speaking of cleanup day, that's item number 32 on the agenda.
Yeah, it will be May 20th. We have
June.
June 20th. We did talk to Brian about his crew and Republic. And came up with this.
How come it stops at 10?
It always has. We just do it for 3 hours.
Not that that's something that we do.
We used to do it,
It's pretty busy.
we used to do it like all day, and I mean, so we've gone from like this to like this because people were there and
It got kind of hot, so
there was no activity and, yeah.
Yeah,
You can
they're,
wait till the last minute, so if you wanna get rid of something, get off your butt, get there before 10 AM or deal with it.
yeah, and
That's
they're,
the
you know, they're usually lined up at 7 and they're pretty focused to get there. It really does drop off
right.
closer to 10.
It's usually pretty busy right away.
Yeah.
So we could adjust it, but that's why it landed there. It's just been gradually moved as.
And since we do it here, if the room happens to be rented at noon, then hopefully we're all gone and the dumpsters are gone and the area is ready for use then.
The electronics is at a no fee.
Yes.
Have a bunch of swollen lithium batteries.
Sweet, that's awesome. That's a metal container that.
No, did you mean no fee to the residents?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I mean, like.
but the city pays a fee.
Even the electronics.
That's what I meant is.
Yeah.
Somebody could drop off their whatever. piece.
TV.
Printers.
Yeah, we see it all, trust me. I mean,
We
it's-
bring a trailer from,
Midwest.
Midwest.
Electronics.
Yeah.
If there was a fee to the residents, drop that off, like.
Okay, need a motion to approve that happening?
Motion.
Need a second? Did I hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, item number 33, discussion of possible motion concerning possible banners for the United States 250th anniversary. Cynthia and I talked about this. It's like, I just noticed the other day, our downtown area, if you recall, in past years, Cynthia's helped coordinate getting special banners that Legion members could be on, firefighters could be on. I think we tried graduates one year, but this is the 250th celebration. A lot of communities are doing special things. Wondered if the council was receptive to spending a little money on it.
You know how long it takes to get them?
Oh, a couple weeks, I think.
Weeks?
Yeah,
How much money? It wasn't that expensive.
well, I think, somewhere under 5,000, are the ones that we've gotten before. It just depends how many poles you do. I think we currently have 33 poles available.
Speaking of which.
That was your lead in.
Cindy and I have also discussed that we would certainly like to see something in Heartland Heights, so we don't ignore them from all these special,
About time.
about time, okay.
Well, we've been talking about it, but I don't know, Brian, do you have any insight on that? Cause we've always been told no.
Well, to you.
Yeah, I have some insight on that.
Hi, Joe.
I've actually talked to REC and the people who bought them, and they have said absolutely not. They will not allow us to put anything on their electrical pole.
Not anymore.
Well, if I've learned anything from QTS.
No, it was not even negotiable.
What are they gonna
They will
do?
not allow us to do it.
That's not saying you can't put it in your own poll. I'm
Change
just
their
saying,
name,
they don't
change
want it
their
on their
ways.
poll. That's
But do we have any other poll options there?
The reason for that is because, Lynn tackled this, as you guys know, in the past, and maybe some of you don't, they feel that strapping was the best alternative. And they're basically held on with a band strap, three of them. The older ones in the old part of town are actually lagged into the poles, which they find detrimental to the strength and integrity of their poles, and that's why they don't want to allow it. It's not that they don't like the idea, but they don't want it. You can use them as long as they're there, but if that pole were to get changed, and I'm going off memory of what Lynn said, that you can't put it back up. So if they change the pole downtown, add one, you can't put it back up.
However, though, Eric, the poles downtown, if I remember right, are Alliance. They are not REC.
Yeah,
True. Yeah. But they.
So can we
Whatever
ban?
Alliance
Yeah,
is,
yeah, can
doesn't
we-
have anything to do with REC.
Can't put anything.
No attachments.
oh, I thought you said we could strap it.
That was the second best thing, is to do the strap technique, but they find that cuts into that wood a little bit. When the wind rocks really bad, and we've seen some of these move and turn, they actually will break the band and cut. So, and I believe that goes for Alliant, Joe, if you can hear me, they both have the same view on their poles. They're very touchy on their poles.
Well, it very well may that they have the same pole, but they have different philosophies on it. REC is saying, no way, no. Alliance may have a different, we've already got some stuff on some poles out there, so if something came down, we may be able to replace it or whatever. But in Heartland Heights, which is what I think the question was originally, those are REC poles. And actually, it's called something else now. You guys discussed it earlier.
Corridor
It's
energy.
a different company that bought out REC. Yeah, but the answer is still the same. Absolutely nothing on their poles. Nothing.
Is there something we can do at the parks other than the red, white, and blue lights that you'd already had in process?
Is there something we can do
Like on the
at,
trail lights?
Heartland Heights?
No, at the parks.
Yes, there's, at the park.
Parks, any of the parks.
Well, those light poles that we put those lights on are ours. Those are just light poles. Those aren't electrical poles. Does that make sense, or did I answer the question, Cynthia?
So you're saying at Heartland Heights, there at the park, there are our poles that they could lag bolts, a banner
Well, ours
into?
they don't require electrical, we're just mounting them to that because that's easiest.
And I don't know if we have any pools in the park yet.
Yeah,
How about the
So,
lights
street
around the
lights,
trail?
street lights on them, those are RECs.
we're talking Heartland
Yeah.
Heights.
If we put in extra ones, that's a possibility because they're 100%.
Lights around the trail are our poles. We can put whatever we want on them. But the electrical poles that are out in the city on the street, those are not our poles.
Right, yeah, we understand that.
So can we mount our poles at the park?
We don't have any at Heartland Heights, that's what he's saying though.
I thought you said.
I don't think we have any pole around.
Around the-
for it right now. Just
So for
straight lights.
$5,000, can we
Just
put some
around-
poles up
around the
around
front.
the trail?
Yeah.
Or even each end of the pedestrian
I'm
bridge.
just saying,
Perhaps we could give red, white, and blue fireworks to each resident in Hartson Heights. Didn't shoot off my one.
I'm just saying, if we have $5,000 budgeted, can we look at some options for what we could do?
I think we've spent all of the budget, right, Joe?
You already spent this flag money
Spent
on
all of
flags?
it, plus another $1,000. Here's something else I'd like to throw out. And listen, I love the idea of having banners that say 250th anniversary. However, though, when we buy Christmas banners to put up, Christmas is coming around again next year, and the next year, and the next year. The 250th anniversary is only 1 year. Once you buy them and put them up and take them down, they are no good any longer. I love the idea of the two, listen,
Permanent mark.
I would love to see them. But I'm just thinking about, what are we gonna do with those banners in 2027?
Well, maybe we could just buy 1 or 2 of those and put them in prominent places and that would be sufficient. And
That is what I was thinking.
and then just do something else.
The
Yeah.
Heartland Heights, is there something that we could put?
Put one by
on
City
the
Hall.
entrance, something like that, just to have 1 or 2, not on every single pole we have.
Yeah.
I make a motion that Joe has a committee to determine what to do with the lights.
And you're right, maybe it's a budget of $2,000. You figure out $2,000, how many banners that would get you, and then you figure out where you want those banners to be at in the prominent places. And then in 2027, you only have $2,000 worth of banners sitting on the shelf instead of 5,000.
Well,
Or
I'm
maybe
just saying we just
okay.
get a few and put those up and then the rest of the banners, we figure out how to mount some at the park.
Well, and some could say the 250, some would just say celebrating
You
America,
could just have
America's
American flag
birthday.
bunting or
And then we
something.
could have them up.
Yeah,
for
That's a
July.
great idea.
See, we're outside of the box here.
That's a great idea, but we can use them again.
Can I say something?
Go to the stand.
Tell us who you are, sir.
Don Stockton, I'm a resident here in Fairfax, and I just thought of the neat city sign that we have coming in, City of Fairfax welcomes you. What if we were to put a temporary wrap on that? I mean, we know enough people around here that do wraps now, they could do a 250th wrap on it. Put the investment in there, and that's the only banner you need anywhere around, and the rest could be red, white, and blue, and use it next year and the year after that.
We need it at both ends, though, Don.
Oh, what?
We have 2 signs like that, north and
Put it
south.
put it on both signs, but then you've got it covered.
Sounds cool.
Sorry, I'm getting a call.
Thank you for that idea.
Not a bad idea.
Doesn't solve the Heartland Heights problem yet, unless,
Well, they have a sign.
Let's
yeah,
look
but
at
it's not ours. It's the developers. It's on the developer's land as well.
Permission.
Hurdles.
I move that Joe come up with some options and come back to us next month. Do you hear that, Joe?
Did you say go, Mary Ann?
I, you need to
Yeah,
put some
I heard it.
proposals together, Joe. And then you need to come back next month.
Mary Ann, here's the first proposal. We put a bathroom at Prairie Creek Park.
Only if there's a banner in it.
Don't worry, I'll text my answer to Jeff.
I can do that. I can work and have a proposal done, by next month, so.
Perfect.
And well, but I think we need to move, I think what Cynthia's point though is too, we need to move sooner rather than later on it, whatever we do, simply because, we need to get as much use out of them as we can. They should be up by, I don't know, by Memorial Day.
Yeah, Memorial Day would be good.
What do you think?
I don't care, Joe. The world is your oyster. Do you guys really care? Can you just run with this part?
The next few days, the next week. How about this? Could you guys give me a budget and say, if you stay within this budget, Joe,
Only someone had just said that.
do what you need to do.
Weird, no. 5,000, how's that?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, we're going.
Whoa.
How about no more than that? 2 wraps on the welcomes to Fairfax sign. And,
others to be reusable.
and yeah, the poles,
I would say most of them need to be reusable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the ones at the poles reusable, the
Yeah.
ramps probably.
Do we have money in the lost fund that could,
Okay.
we could use lost for it, so it doesn't
Money in the
affect.
park fund?
Is there any reason why we couldn't ask the landowners that own the sign for Heartland
That was
Heights
the next thing I was
Yeah.
gonna say, reach out to them.
to contribute, or maybe not contribute, but participate?
Or even if you know, those, feather flags, you know, if they didn't want something on their sign, but maybe the feather flags,
The
Yep.
waving.
yeah, on
Like
the
a big
next.
wacky waving.
Yeah, we want the air blowing.
No,
Not that.
You can only have one, there can only be one.
Oh my, now we're getting carried away.
I believe we have an ordinance that says you can only have 3 feathers and 1, 2, see, I'm just saying, slippery slope, people.
I'm willing to take on that task if you just give me a budget and let me go, so that, because like I said, in the Cynthia's point, we need to have these ordered sooner rather than later. I don't know, we can wait another month. Give me a budget and let me take care of it.
That would be nice.
That's like crazy.
2,500, 3,000, I don't care, they're just, some of that stuff's kind of pricey. It's seriously.
3247.
Did you hear that, Joe?
2,500 seems reasonable.
I did, thanks, Mike, I appreciate that.
2,500.
I think everyone's on board with 2,500, Joe.
and if you just can't get all
Alright.
you want, you can do a proposal in May for more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On board with that.
All right, yeah,
Is that a motion?
that's what we'll start with.
The motion is for 25.
And then in May, I'll come back and ask for the bathroom, Mary Ann.
Only if there's a banner in it.
And do we want it coming out of lost?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might as well.
Second, by the way.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
That's the funnest thing I did all day, Joe.
Thank you.
Number 34, consider resolution. Here's another easy one. They're getting punchy, Joe.
Me too, Mary Ann.
Alright, item number 34, we're gonna set another public hearing date for budget amendment number 2 for our current fiscal year, 26.
So moved.
May 12th is the date.
Yeah.
Second,
Roll call please, Mary Ann.
Aye.
I,
Hi.
Aye.
Okay, move on to item number 35, which is a possible reconsideration, so that will require a motion and a second from 2 members of the prevailing side at the last time this was voted on to change the MPO funding application to roundabout, but it can't happen until the next agenda, May 12th.
Motion to put the NPO funding application change on May 12th agenda to change from the traffic light to the roundabout for consideration. So that you mean like.
No, prevailing side.
No, I think it was voted 4-1.
second.
So-
I have a question before we do that. If we do that, does it pull our funding out and put us to the bottom of the list? Did they talk to you about that, Joanne?
Yeah. They keep pushing for us to change our application, and our application is scored really high.
So it scored high.
And it would score even higher and be smiled upon more if it was a roundabout.
Jane, what did you?
But what was your?
So they need to have the application by April 23rd. So considering on May 12th, I don't know what that does for you.
Well, I would need to talk to Liz at the MPO and
See if they can give us an extension, or they just amend the one that we've already sent in so that the date's not.
So they need a revised cost assessment exhibit, which we talked last month, we can do, it won't be accurate because we haven't done a traffic study, we don't know exactly.
We don't know if it's 1 lane or 2 lanes or.
But, I mean, that's part of the reason I think it was just leave it as is. So no matter what, it won't be based on the traffic study and preliminary design.
It's not gonna have the information they need.
But, you know, if they need it by April 23rd, you're not considering until the May council meeting, I don't know what the, you know, and that was discussed in the March meeting as well. I don't know if, you know, Mayor Beer said she can talk to Liz about it. I know, I think the decision's made by the MPO in June, and it has to run back through the TAG, which would be, if it's submitted in April, the TAG would consider it the beginning of May. So I don't know how that timing would work if council doesn't consider it at all.
At our last NPO executive committee meeting, we actually reviewed all the applications and looking at the different options to try to get as many as possible funded. And then we will, at our May meetings, we will discuss that again and try to come up with a recommendation.
Yeah, and maybe it'll work. I just know what this told me was it has to run back through TAC. And the TAC meets the beginning of the month, so their meeting would be May 2nd, 3rd, or something like that.
And without the traffic study, we really don't know what's actually needed.
Well, and they can't do the work until it's authorized by council.
And there's also, would there be additional engineering fees for repositioning the intersection based on the initial projections that Shane did? Does it be more to the, would that be northwest?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't have much time. We would just go, here's the photo, here's some real high.
Well, we actually have a
There's a
really
picture
wide,
of the
we actually
circle.
have a really wide roadway through there, so we have more room than what you would think. Like compared to like what's up by the station with that, like, because we have that extra dead space and the turn lanes, but it's actually wider through
Well, how
there
much
than
of that is
most.
easement and how much is that property?
Well, I'm saying road width itself, it's a wider,
That we need to try to work out.
it's a
We need
wider
to get
area.
The
So-
change made to figure out,
Well,
I'll know roundabouts are safer than anything else.
council, to remind you, at last council meeting, you approved 100,000, so yeah. For planning and design of a roundabout.
Not design, the preliminary planning,
It
I'd
was
say.
the,
Yeah, preliminary plan.
Yeah.
So you've already committed that amount of money. For Shane to rework the design.
We got started in April 27, right?
Well, it's not until the FY 27 budget, so.
if we don't make the change now, we're gonna get.
Close it off and start June 1st.
So we have someone at the podium that might have something additional to say.
Hello, this is Don Stockton again, president here. I guess I don't have to speak that loud, but I have an opinion on this, traffic control devices throughout the area. You know, being a resident here for over 58 years, 59 years, and driving for 45 of those years, the traffic has definitely increased. I'm sure everyone is aware of that. But in my opinion, a roundabout anywhere in this route is only going to slow down the already congested traffic. It's not going to stop it and allow for a space for people to exit and come out. It's only gonna, you put a roundabout in, it slows them down, they keep moving because most of the traffic that's coming out is coming out of Church Street at 151, not on the Dairy Queen side, so they're gonna be stopped by the traffic and the continual flow of traffic that's coming. And when it comes to 80th Street, you may have some on both sides, but again, anyone coming off of, going, north on 80th Street at 151, they're never gonna get out because of that traffic. So a roundabout is only going to slow traffic down. It's not going to allow that gap or that break in traffic like a traffic signal would. You know, I thought, oh, what about a four-way stop? But again, you're just gonna intermittently keep that traffic flow going and not provide that break to the people that are trying to get out onto the roadway. It was my opinion that I thought if we could, and I know money is a factor here, but if we could look at a stoplight at the intersection of Church and 151, that initially breaks that traffic up there. So then you're looking at all of the roadways from there having that opportunity to get out at Dollar General, to get out at Stallman Road, Cemetery Road. And then it's gonna start accordioning back up again and building up. Then at 80th Street, another stoplight, you allow that break to happen again. So in just my opinion, I think a roundabout, it may work at the station. A lot of complaints I've heard from people on that. But I don't think it's, a roundabout is gonna answer our traffic issue with what we've got now, and I don't see it ever going away. So that's all I've got to say about that.
Thank you. So,
So my question is, can we jump through all the hurdles to resubmit as something else by the deadline? And that's a Liz question.
Shane, if they approve it as submitted, didn't I hear you at some previous meeting, and I might have dreamt it, that the city could change design elements in it after we're awarded?
I don't know if that's 100% guarantee, but I think if it get approved, so right now the application is submitted as a traffic signals. So if it did get funded, as the applicant shows as traffic signals. If the city wanted to come back and say we're gonna do a roundabout, which obviously most of the people with the TAC and the MPO would be in favor of. I think that it would still be, the funds would still be allocated, but I don't think they would funds from the city. And I think that's kind of the direction that the council had given at the March meeting, was just leave it in and see how it works. Based on Mayor Beers, I think, coordination of the board, MPO board, was a lot of people want to see it as a roundabout, but I don't think there's a correct answer. It won't be until June if when they vote on funding, if it'll be funded this way or not.
Right. Yeah, and we do have our DOT representative as a member of the NPO.
So I guess that would be a question for Liz. Do we leave it and then push it through and then amend it? Or do we have the opportunity to amend it without losing our funding and or our place? If we do that, I don't wanna do that and then miss out on funding.
Whether there needs an extension based on your comment that the application needs to happen by the 23rd and our meeting wouldn't happen until the 12th.
My understanding was what Liz informed me back when we coordinated this in March was that it was beginning of March, before the March meeting, that if you wanted to reapply or apply with roundabout, would have to go back through the MPO and get their feedback. Through the TAC committee, the technical advisory committee. And they would have to make their recommendation. That would have to happen at the May meeting for TAC, which is the beginning of May. And then the MPO does their funding at their June meeting. So it has to be determined before June. And again, TAC makes their recommendation for the MPO's meeting in June. May.
Well,
That's why I just gave the date of April 23rd.
To do that, we have to put this on next month's meeting or we can't talk about it.
Well, that's,
So,
I was wondering if.
I
this
just
was-
assume move it and have it on next month's meeting in the event that we get that approval to do something one way or the other. And if we can't get an extension or they change their mind, no harm, no foul, we just don't deal with it. But if it's not, we can't get it on without doing it this way, then I motion that we put it on the May 12th agenda and
One of the reasons we consider keeping it as a traffic light is Sam Shade admitted at the meeting that having a traffic light would have almost forced them to reduce the speed along with it's been one of our goals for a long time that they have ignored every time we've had. So you're killing two birds with one stone by getting controlled intersection and reducing speed. Because I know most people want the speed to be 45 from basically Beverly intersection all the way past Diamond Limo. This is one of the ways you don't get that.
Well, if we want the speed reduced, maybe we have a more aggressive stance versus just nicely asking.
Gone beyond nicely added.
It's not that simple with the DOT. They have rules and regulations. They don't care about things like that.
We need traffic study.
You have to have a traffic study. You have to have unfortunately, a lot of things get triggered by fatalities. So if you have an intersection that has fatalities, then they tend to look at it and they fund it quicker. It's not a question of that.
Well,
It's all by the book and it's all by their rules.
And don't I remember right, it was almost like they were threatening with the traffic study, because then whatever the results are, they set the
It could
speed
go up.
at the
It-
certain
It
percentage.
won't go above the current speed, because
Oh, really?
it's the
Okay.
85th percentile.
Okay,
So if now, let's say you're incorporating all the construction workers out of the data centers and the amount of traffic, and the 85th percentile is 65, you're not gonna raise it to 65.
Okay.
They won't increase it above the current rate, but they go the 85th percentile of what the speed is, not the posted speed,
Right.
what people are actually getting.
The DOT generally prefers the roundabout because traffic signals have a higher incident of serious injuries. As compared to roundabouts have more frequent murder.
They're going slower during the through the roundabout where someone could run the light at 50.
Or 65.
Yeah, so that's.
Sometimes that helps one too.
Yeah, that's all.
I just don't wanna make the changes and then find out, well, we're out of the running now. We've made this change and we now can't get funding. Whereas if we can push it through and then find out we can amend it, if that's to the roundabout, then.
I'm just
I
saying
don't know how you find
procedurally,
that.
I can't change it unless it's on our agenda. And I'm not saying that we will go ahead and do that. We need additional information. Can we get an extension? Is it gonna screw up the funding in one fashion? Do we have to start over, or are we already?
Well, we'll have
At
missed
our
all the
time
deadlines, won't we?
Right.
We has to
Yeah.
have it put together by the end of April to present to them in May. So if we do that, we'll have missed.
Yeah, that's my understanding, I mean,
We'll
that's-
miss all the deadlines to resubmit.
well, plus doesn't the MPO meet the day after our May 12th meeting? Wouldn't their meeting be the 13th?
Have to be.
And we certainly couldn't authorize Holland Hall to do stuff the night of the 12th to turn it.
He would be hard pressed to get anything put together if we told him today.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna be pulling information basically out of his behind because we don't have any studies.
The
So-
executive committee meets on the 13th, but final approval has to be given by the policy board, which is not until. I wanna say the 23rd of May.
But the TAC then meets before the 12th.
Yeah.
That was just first Thursday of the month.
Not a committee.
I
I
think
was,
that's why Liz said have it in by the 23rd, so that they can present it to TAC at their.
so I was listening to, Sunny's proposal is what, similar to what I was gonna say, if we go ahead and just. Approve it being potentially reconsidered on May 12th. And I talked to the MPO, they say, no, that's not gonna do us any good, we can remove it from the agenda, we don't.
I just
I
take
just don't
that.
want to lose the opportunity because we have to do these certain procedural things. I would rather have the opportunity and pull it than not be able to do it at all.
Right, so just because we're saying we want to reconsider it on May 12th doesn't mean you just pull it off.
And I'd just like to add, I'm fine either way you want to go with it, but there is 2 years from now, there's additional opportunity if it's, council, like, yeah, we're going forward with
We're already
roundabout.
way behind.
Maybe we're into design and everything, but you can still request funding for that. If for some reason city doesn't get any funding. So there is another opportunity. But, just so you're aware that
It's our
we don't completely miss the boat if something doesn't work out.
issue. That's my thoughts.
So Cindy, did you make a motion?
I know
Yeah, there's a motion and a second.
So I need an all in favor, and all we're doing is saying it will go on the May 12th agenda for reconsideration, but we can always remove that at the MPO since there's no advantage. So that's too late.
It's a roll call or an I think.
It's an I think.
I,
Silence on other three?
Aye.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
so 3-2 is whatever, okay.
So it passes.
And I will talk to the MPO and see whether we're just gonna be too late or not. Okay. Moving on to item number 36. Discussion of possible motion concerning area commercial and industrial wells and water use.
I don't know which one open.
That was your contact.
So, no, so this was more with everything going on, the things that I'm hearing that are going on. I think that it would be we did this, spent the time, the money to do this study. We reached out to all the communities that use that, that aquifer, that we should be putting this information out to them again, bringing it back to the DNR. Because basically it says that they won't allow a large use person or business to pull out of that aquifer, but that is not what I'm hearing. So I just think that it would be better for us to be, instead of being reactive, to be, you know, let's us do this. Then let's send this study back out with, hey, do you know that people are looking at digging wells? Like, Marion uses it, I think Hiawatha uses it, Johnson County, you know, I mean, Swisher.
North Liberty, so on.
So if somebody comes in and digs a couple large wells, we could easily be without water. I mean, it sounds crazy, but if, and then they, you know, what, then everybody has to dig a deeper well, and so I just think it would be, if we spent the money for this study and the DNR said, yeah, we won't allow that, but
We have no language, no policy, no.
yeah, so I just think it would be, you know, it would behoove us to get this out in front of people again to say, are you aware that, you know, these businesses are threatening your water?
So how would we do that, Marianne? Are you suggesting that we have an ordinance for within our city limits, or?
Well, we would never approve anything, or they can't do a well in our city limits anyway, but I feel like Lynn County should be seeing this, like anybody that,
You're wanting the data to get presented.
I feel like we should push this data back out and say, this says that our aquifer cannot support that any kind of a large user. So if they plop up some more data centers and they can't get it, you know, how much water can they keep pulling out of the river? At some point, there's gotta be a giving point there, so. When that happens and they say we gotta dig wells because we don't have any other options, then. I just feel like we should be proactive on this and not sit back and say, oh gosh, that was dumb, we should have said something before they all. Remind the DNR, remind everyone, I don't know.
We should push that, and I think we need an ordinance.
I mean,
within.
we can make an ordinance, but I just feel like we should be reaching out to all the other people that are close.
So Lynn County has a sustainability director. She's been out here a couple of times. She had talked with Chris and I. And they were proposing a countywide water study. Google was going to pay for it until Google decided they would rather be in Palo city limits so that they
Can do what they want.
can do what they want. So
Yeah,
the funding went away, and that's the last I heard of it.
so there again, if Google goes in Palo and wants to dig a well, who's gonna stop the DNR or, but.
And if you remember, we also participated in a Johnson County study. We paid like $1,000 to be part of theirs, so, you know, we might want to present our report and
They're
refresh that one.
send it to the people and say, hey, just so you know, you remind the DNR that you said that you would not allow wells and.
Would you like me to invite the Lynn County Sustainability Director to come to a meeting and talk to the council about this?
Well, we should probably get a hold of each community that draws from the Solarian, that's number one. Then we should probably bring this to the attention of Lynn County supervisors, which I'm sure they're already aware of it.
DNR, Lynn County Health, all people that approve the wells.
And then, you know, I'm probably putting the cart ahead of the horse, but, see what legal ramifications or restrictions can be put on these data centers. Now, I know they have different options, whether it's, you know, energy based like HVAC cooling versus water based like it's doing. But, even if they do, like, for example, decide to hose over Lynn County, go within Palo to build a data center. That's where I think the communities that draw from the aquifer should get together and be able to say, hey, you can't draw more than X amount of water due to the drawdown on that. Because, and you would know more than me, I believe it's if industrial or commercial draw down aquifers too much, they're supposed to cease to allow residents access to that drinking. Now, I think we've all learned over there that money talks a lot more than,
Well,
so the
it'll
rules don't
be,
mean as much.
whoopsie, we dug 2 wells and nobody, all of a sudden people don't have water. I
Yeah.
just don't.
I don't think it's putting cart before the horse. I think watching this all over the country. There's towns in Ohio and Wisconsin that have already put bans, language in data
Send
centers
it to your state representatives,
and
you
things
know,
like that.
all
And
those
I think
people.
getting the word out to the community, to the people who have to live with that, who have to draw in their own water, is essential. Don't do that if people don't have that knowledge, then what? We're not doing our jobs.
Can I just ask a question, because I'm just really, do we have a backup system if we run out of water? Are we like hooked up to Cedar Rapids water? What happens if we run out of water? We're just out of water?
Yeah.
What would it take to hook up to like Cedar Rapids?
That would be a horrible thing. We did that a long time ago and it was.
For sewer.
Was that sewer? I thought it was water.
It was sewer.
Was it just sewer? And working with Sewer Act period, it's a giant Charlie Fox round. Let me put it in that term.
We did an agreement with them and we did hook up to them and we found it soon. Luckily, we were smart enough to have some language in the contract that said we could take back our services and when it suited us. And it's we no sooner the ink was dry than they were wanting to raise our rates, tell us what we could and couldn't do. It was not a good situation, which is why we still spend the money to not be. But my concern is if the wells go dry, that's because they're digging wells, which means they don't have enough water from the river to sustain all the data centers.
They
So-
make Cedar Rapids.
Yes, so the wells would be their second option to fill that. And that by then, we can't go to Cedar Rapids for water because they're gonna say, we don't have any to give you. So that's.
I didn't know, I just.
Yeah. But we did this, paid for this study when the data centers came to town because we were afraid that this would happen. So we were wanting to know if they come and they dig wells, what will that do to us? Cause we can't go without water. And we found out, sure enough, that a large user cannot draw out of our aquifer.
So we have someone at the podium that would like to. All right.
Hi, John Lee, I live near the proposed, Morgan Valley Power Plant. I was actually talking to Kirsten,
Our supervisor.
Today, in similar discussion about water. Some things that we didn't get to talk about were potential moratoriums, to slow down this kind of stuff. I just didn't know, but I would just put that on the table for you guys to see if something like that would be worth discussing. There's a lot of things going on, since I was here last, that is very, very alarming to me, about things like this, right at the edge of your town, that is gonna slow down a lot of things that I think you guys want to happen. I could talk about it for a long time about things that aren't part of this, but I think water is a huge thing that is a commodity. It's not something to just be thrown around and forget about. I appreciate you guys bringing this up. It's becoming part of the discussion, but I think this is a key to try to, make sure that we communicate with the DNR. That's really big. Communicate with our state officials on how we can get the DNR involved in some of this stuff to try to help us make sure it's all part of the discussion. So, thank you.
I was thinking, do you remember when the IDOT was going to replace the bridges on 151 and they were gonna close down the traffic completely? And Fairfax said no, and they said, oh yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Do you remember that we drafted kind of a form letter, put it in the newsletter? Asked our residents to write a similar letter or take that, just put their names on it, send it to the governor's office. Do you remember that? They sent them to the governor's office and then we got a stoplight and we got a way to route traffic. Our fire department, spoke up that they needed to, to get out. I don't remember the exact wording. But we did start a public awareness, but also specific campaign asking them, everybody, to send info, whether it be to the governor's office or it would be to the IDNR or whatever. And that got people's attention. It had the result that we wanted, whether the companies that we're dealing with are too big and that won't work, I don't know, but that was some success we had on that topic.
I think it's a perfect idea to put something out there, because the residents send in comments, concerns, and flood inboxes and.
Yeah.
And phones.
That's something that we can use Exile for as an alert, saying, hey, this is really, really important. You know, we want people to.
Maybe, I mean, you can't really get enough info on Nixle, you know, but like in the newsletter.
Send them to a.
She said, you're gonna run out of water. In the newsletter, we can put a sample letter, we can put the mailing address or email addresses or whatever to the elected state level officials.
So I would start at the state level. This is an election year for our local state representatives, so we may have their year. Since they are running for re-elections or different positions within the
We
state.
just spent the money for all this information and it basically says, if you're in this area, this is what could happen. I just feel like we just need to get it out there.
I think a step beyond getting it out there is pool our resources with communities, like I was mentioning, that work with Solarian and see what we can do with it, because data centers aren't going anywhere. I think
No, but if we get it
let's not pretend that they're not going, or they're going away. But if we can limit the water usage that they do consume and force them more to do more of a traditional HVAC, which I know then creates its own problems, then and build more power plants, so we know that. But John was saying, I'd say water is probably our most important commodity.
So this water model report that was done, that can go like on the front page of the website, that, you know, just as a link there, or, you know, any way that we can get it out there. I think multiple ways have to.
Brian, can you contact the Lynn County towns and see where they're getting their water from, file that data?
I can try to do that.
And maybe get a contact with the IDNRs, you know, make whatever info or send them our info. Our model report, and that Johnson County report was before our model report.
Last time I looked, that wasn't on the. But then, it's been a while, I think November, December, I think when I looked last, and it still hadn't been posted.
Oh, okay.
Johnson County one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever, it was preliminary when it was presented.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so they've
it's-
never come out with their final.
Yeah, they just.
Jeepers, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think we should also draft an ordinance, and to Mike's point, at one point, then that's something to take to other communities and share. We can all create similar language, and that's gonna get attention from the state level as well.
I'd like to touch base on data centers. Another thing that I've researched pretty heavily, there are two forms of data centers, closed loop, open loop. Open loop is a pump and dump. And I'm not gonna say the name of that company, but it starts with a G.
Gerber.
Yeah, so that exchanges water on a daily basis. Now, the tricky point is you can put an ordinance in there, which I think needs to happen. Or something, and take it to the state level, that's great. A closed loop system, such as what Mike was talking about, they take that water in. It's a closed loop system, they shut the valve, it recirculates that water with additives in there like glycol, which is all fine, it's a rust inhibitor. And they reuse that water, reuse it, and they top it off maybe once or twice a year. So I'm gonna give you an example, these are not exact numbers. Let's say their initial fill is 1 million gallons. They may add 80,000 gallons in September, and they may add another 80,000 in May. So that's a closed loop system. That is great. It's a first initial intake of water is huge. But other companies that I've mentioned are using that on a daily basis. That's what you need to attack first. And that's how some of your ordinance needs to be structured. Because that water is used one time and dumped, and that's what's gonna be really taxing on the aquifer. You have to really look at this logically, because you're right, they're not gonna go away. anywhere there's a power station, picture them sprinkled all throughout, because that's what they're gonna do. They need to be close to a power station. And you won't see one in the middle of nowhere. So just consider that portion. I think I talked to you the other day about that. You had a question on that too. It is a great concern, but going after water, you have to maybe mandate a closed loop system first and then move on to the limitations of taxing the current aquifer.
Yeah, I think our people in Des Moines should be, you know,
Yes,
they should be protecting us from this.
well, you would hope.
Eric, can you encourage the P and Z to, start looking at an ordinance and
Yeah.
on specific to water? And Red County does have the data center ordinance that addresses water. There may be some useful language in there that could be borrowed.
And there's some tricky lingo that they will use too. Some of these companies that are probably the bad ones in the water usage, when you ask them, you know, what's your usage? And they say, again, this is an example for easy, 1 million gallons a day. And you're like, oh, okay, if that was okay with you, that's just for one building. You need to ask the specific question, what your total usage is of all your buildings on this site. Because you'll quickly find out it was 3 million. So don't let the lingo trick you into that either. You have to dig into it. And that's all spec, it's all, they have to answer that question. I mean, it's stuff you need to understand that lingo on that too, because they will not tell you everything.
Go ahead.
I think that there's a lot of validity that a lot of things he's saying with closed loop. It is a lot better in water consumption, but there's a lot of drawbacks to it. I've just been educating myself now, but there's a lot of when they have to release a certain amount of water every so often. I'm gonna say it's all wrong, I'm no expert, but and that water that they're releasing is way more toxic than I would have ever understood it to be. There is more to be understood about that, but there's a lot of validity to the fact that they don't use as much water. Like there's so many things here, but either way, both of them are not good. But to speak about something one of the council members said is everything that I've learned in the last 3 weeks since this power plant's come out is no one's speaking up for us in Des Moines. I can't get people to email me back, answer the phone, talk to me. Like we need you guys' help to reach out to them. Like everybody that I talk to, we need you guys' help to also, like, they're not gonna protect us without you guys reaching out and helping us too. We all gotta come together, these little, I'll get off my soapbox, but we need you guys' help to reach out to them too, the DNR, everybody that can have any influence on this stuff, because it is, the bad situation's coming fast, and I'm afraid it's gonna be over before we can stop it.
Complacency and inaction is not acceptable. They are coming at us every single direction that they're gonna try to throw it, and they're doing things under the radar. They're lying about systems potentially. Regulations are disappearing. Are they actually gonna hold themselves to the high level that they're supposed to if they don't have to? So I would agree with John for sure that we need to do the same thing. We need to reach out to our people. We need to get our other communities connected and involved. It is important. It's scary. And if we don't get on top of it, it will be detrimental to our town.
Is everyone aware that we're pretty certain of Hale and another site as well into the planning? In addition to QTS and Google? And that there's just a whisper of another site yet in Lynn County. So,
They're moving fast and they're moving under the radar. And if we do not get on top of it, if we do not create language, whether it's enforceable or not at this point, have to do it.
You're gonna have to make it very unattractive, because the reason why they're here, something a lot of people overlook is where we're located in the United States. You mentioned Ohio, states like that. Most of the season it's cooler, so that's more cost effective to run a building that generates a lot of heat. And so if you can use less energy in HVAC and the lack of regulation, farmland, you got the recipe for buyouts and
And they have deep
Building.
pockets.
so it's a lot of it is climate based too. So let's just say 5 of the months of a year, it's cooler than it is in Arizona. Pretty obvious to say that. I'm sure everybody can agree with that, but that is why this is an attractive area.
They don't have water there either.
Good point. That's why they're not there.
Well, we won't have any here at this rate. That's my concern.
And so be aware that, one of our state representatives came and met with Joanne and I when Fairfax was kind of going slow with the 76th discussion and the development agreement for the
Right,
laydown
before we
area.
approved them. Yeah.
And he goes, sat in my office and said, well, you know why I'm here, don't you? And we both went, no. And he said, the state wants to see these projects happen.
Well, then move them to Des Moines.
And he said, they have deep pockets, just say what you want and get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, so this specific topic is on water, a lot of good suggestions. Is there any motion that would consolidate all of these efforts? Any council member, staff member willing to form a committee to tackle all of these great ideas?
Say a committee,
Pardon me?
committee?
A committee maybe,
I'll leave the committee, whoever else wants to.
on water specifically,
All of this and the next topic.
this or the next one? You want it all one big topic instead of separate?
Saying this, if you're saying a committee,
I'm just saying a lot of great ideas, but not assigned to any people specifically in order to get things done.
okay, assign them to me.
Well, if we're dealing with water, Brian should be on the committee. I'm
Right.
sorry, Brian.
Honestly, I mean, if Dan wants to take on both 36 and 37, that's fine, but I think you're gonna get more cooperation with the water than you will getting both the water and we're gonna chat about next. It's just my opinion.
I think you want to start.
Yeah, I think, you know, people in Johnson County and so on and them will care very much about our aquifer. I don't think they're gonna get too many groups about Alliance Power Station up by Center Realm.
I'm saying from my standpoint, my time. I'll take both. I'm not saying we combine the conversations, but
Yeah.
I think, we'll be very surprised that even further south you get, how much they're concerned about that plan.
Didn't we have Shane Dodge here from the DNR? Wasn't he the one that spoke? What am I thinking that during our presentation?
On the citizen meetings. when-
Yeah.
Yeah, about
Cause
the
he used to
power
live
plant.
here once upon a time, so I think he would be someone we could reach out to on this.
I make a motion that Dan heads up the committee and solicits many other people you think are necessary.
So far, it's just two.
Okay,
Well, if we're gonna do an ordinance, Eric should probably be, or someone from P and Z, one or the other.
And I'll take this to P and Z too, and I can mention it there. You may get even more help there.
sooner than later, the information needs to get on the website, in the facts, and wherever else we wanna put that water study or awareness language.
Okay, so motion, all right, you made a motion. I need a second, then,
Second.
all in favor?
I
Didn't hear it, Mike's doing.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
I guess even though it's about me.
All right, and item number 37. Now related but different. Power plant situations. Who would like to talk about that?
I will, but I did see Chris Brandstad's messages before. So I don't know if anyone wants to talk with those, otherwise I'll just,
Maybe you should ask him to be on the committee. He seems very,
Engaged.
he's very engaged, yes.
Chris is not, is Chris here? Let's see, all the way back then.
No, sometimes he is.
I told him we put him in the packet.
so,
He's being safe, so.
I guess as far as 37, I'll say what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make a motion and then I think if the people are gonna talk to it. Just so that you get where my proposal's at, but this proposed, keep saying proposed, the proposed location for the power plant is moving very quickly. We are theoretically at the early stages, but the next stages are gonna happen potentially within 30 days, might be a little bit longer, but could be that quickly. So along the way, just looking into some of the processes that were followed, what should have been followed, there's a lot of gaps. Specifically environmental studies, water studies, health studies, property value. Notice to, and I know this is a little bit blurry between the county and the company proposing it, but notice to residents in the area, notice to cities, did we have a seat at the table to discuss this? There's certain things that we should have been involved in. There's process that should have been followed. I don't fully know the legal process of it. I think that there's some people that we attempt to be attorneys, so I think the better way of doing this is, here's where my motion's gonna kick in. So I move to authorize the city attorney to immediately pursue all available legal remedies on behalf of the city related to the proposed Alliant Energy Power Plant siting, including actions related to Lynn County zoning and setback determinations, and take any and all steps necessary, including, but not limited to, writ of certiorari, which in essence is following processes, seeking an injunction, or initiating litigation as warranted, including claims or actions addressing potential impacts to residents in the community, such as health, safety, and property value concerns. And also to assist in the city's participation as an intervener in the Iowa Utilities Commission process. So there's 4 things in there. Injunction to get involved with, or I guess to pause and ask the right questions with the process, get some questions. The IUC process is running kind of right now, really, between was it March 23rd, the public hearing, which there were issues with that. But public hearing, there's processes, what Chris was referring to in his email, filling out the docket, which I guess I'll say right now, everyone should fill out the IUC information, look at the email that Chris has in there. You can see the GCU number to properly classify it. But, additionally, to not leave the residents of Fairfax out if it means any kind of litigation against the counties, just to have everything on there. So basically, this is to allow the city attorney to look into anything and everything related to this, to protect the residents of the city.
You're gonna leave me with that motion, right? You got it printed.
It's all right. It'll be on tape. Another question. Dan, comment, when you say city attorney, we've used a specific attorney that's helped us in land annexations and other things, Dan Manning, who's also assisted us, I believe, with the Iowa Development Board for sure. I don't know about the Utilities Commission.
No, I don't think the utility.
I think his experience is more geared towards what we're looking for. And I don't know about our city attorney's office, whether they have anybody that specializes in that or not. That's just a comment, that Dan Manning would,
Yes.
be my,
Did the city of Fairfax object to the Lynn County ordinance at any of the public readings or public hearings?
Yes,
yeah,
The city of
we
Fairfax.
objected, we sent them our ordinance resolution that we created that night. They
Asking for
acknowledged
the
it,
setbacks.
but they chose to ignore it.
yeah, I spoke to that.
Oh, I know after we objected, they, instead of taking into consideration, actually increased the amount of production that they could do to ensure
Right,
we couldn't do anything.
right. Yes, I spoke on behalf of the council at their meeting, but didn't make any progress.
The board of supervisors is aware of that.
Another question for Dan, do we know if Alliance specifically has filed with the IUC yet?
You can't yet.
Not enough time, days.
No, they have to, was it 30 or 31 days have to? I thought it was
Not less than 30
have to
days.
Getting
from
closer.
March 23rd.
Yeah.
March
So-
23rd told their 30 days, so they cannot do it before 30 days are up after that date.
So asking for four things in your motion, is that what you said? Cynthia's math trying to.
I can.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I would definitely see Dan Manning's more the person, and if it's not his cup of tea, he will know which attorney specializes in something. I don't think we wanna put that in-house, because as you've seen, we're still doing the investigation from December. And we're supposed to have an answer maybe this week, maybe next week. I just kind of gave up
Yes,
hoping.
we need speed.
Yes, so I would say this is definitely the right direction for that, and if he can't, then he would. And he would probably also, like with the water stuff, find out if there's a way that we can legally, gather together to do something to keep them from.
I think that's the motion at hand, is to start the ball rolling the process, because time is of the essence, because I fully believe that Alliant has their application ready, and on that drop dead date, it will be fine. I don't think that there's gonna be any hesitation or waiting on their part. They are pushing it very, very hard on all of this.
And this would, I would, yeah, say reach out to Dan Manning. I know he wasn't interested in helping us on the annexation or 2080 agreement with Cedar Rapids.
Oh, you did.
Oh, he
help
did,
us.
he came to the very first
He
meeting.
He came to the meeting, but he declined when we wanted to, wait a minute, was that in closed session that we talked about that? I don't remember, I better not say it.
He helped us more than once with that.
And they actually helped us with the laydown area agreement as well.
I'm, okay, I was talking about when we had 300 acres that they said was in effect on our side, and then they changed their mind and we didn't object to it, and then we decided we didn't want to do something, we said he wasn't interested in representing us. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think there was a conflict of interest of some kind going on. So,
And he would be able to let you know if there's a conflict.
yeah, if he
would
can't,
refer you to someone
yeah,
else
if he can't, he'll say, I
that can
can't
help
do
in that
this.
situation.
Yeah, or this isn't, there's somebody else that specializes in this, but he's been very helpful in the past.
Yes. So remind me of the other parts, Dan.
One was the writ of tertiary, which,
Savvy.
That's a legal thing.
yeah, it sometimes is used after a court order, but can also be used prior.
Like an injunction?
What's it mean?
It's I mean, it's not complicated, but it's hard to explain what it means. It's a
What
it's a
does it do?
legal maneuver that you can do to slow a process down. And I don't know the actual
It's
definition.
to allow to, I understand, for us to get more information. Well, kind of, yeah, but it's, there's legal processes that have to be followed. Did they follow them? Instead of just everyone sitting back and assuming that everything's good. It's the legal review that all I's were dotted, T's were crossed.
All the dates were,
Yeah, everything that they had to do was followed, the injunction.
Basically,
it's
you're doing
just-
their process that they do. You file a writ to review the process, which slows down their process.
Like a stop work order.
That is what,
A stop work order.
um,
If
They
you're
have to
speeding
stop what they're
progress.
doing while you review their process to see if they follow the right process.
Review plan.
So Dan,
He'll know what it means and how to do it. He'll know what it means and how to. do
Yeah,
it.
and if it's something that he doesn't think applies, he'll tell you that.
you'll know what it is or use.
Yeah.
That's why I said, you know, actions, related to, but, what's here, legal remedies related to, including but not limited to. So, yeah, and say whether this works, that doesn't work.
anything else in there?
Well, about potential,
Potential intervener.
potential, well, then claims against the harm that it's going to do to the residents of Fairfax. That's a different conversation altogether. And then yes, to, have them be present as an intervener, because there's,
They would represent the city of Fairfax at IUC hearings.
yes,
Okay,
or if they feel it's good to. Because it doesn't have to be an attorney, if they said that a different representative is that person, but it's good to have an attorney.
so the part about the good or bad against the residents of Fairfax, how does that happen? How does? In your proposal, who,
What do you mean, sorry?
say that again about that fourth one, that, you know.
Let's see here, initiating litigation as warranted, including claims or actions addressing potential impacts to residents in the community such as health, safety, and property value concerns.
That's a legal action against it.
Potentially.
Okay. Potential.
There's a potential financial impact to a lot, if not all the residents, whether that's property value, health concerns, that's expensive.
Growth,
Those are all
content
arguments
growth.
for the utilities board.
Excuse me?
Those are all arguments that he could use with the utilities board saying that if they do this, this is what will
Yes.
happen, because we are downwind.
But I think a lot of those are filed against Lake County.
So you're making this specific to the power plant proposal. Could you broaden that to include the loosely proposed data centers that will join in?
Do you wanna tell them so they know what you're talking about?
When you say them,
The audience and people, the 6 people that watch this on YouTube?
right, Brian, Eric, myself, and the fire chief met with, a couple potential developers that are interested in building data centers immediately to the east of the power plant proposal, and it would extend all the way to 80th Street. No particular data center can be mentioned at this time. They couldn't tell us anything.
They tell you how many.
What was it in, did I tell you when I sent out the update, you guys, was it 700 to 1100 acres or 1400 acres worth of?
It'd be comparable to what's being built along 76. Except south of 30, in between.
So basically from the power plant all the way to ADS.
Essentially,
Okay. Yep,
That's county, right?
that's all.
that's county.
So
That would
I
include
think,
Fairfax growth to the north.
I-
Extremely.
yes,
That.
but unless I'm wrong, nothing's actually been brought to vote in the county on that. Correct?
I'm not seeing anything on the supervisor's agenda for discussion yet.
Okay.
After, unless it was in closed session.
I think this gets attention.
Pardon?
I said, I think this gets attention. Assuming it's, yes. And you handle what has actually been decided, not from this standpoint. I think you handle what's actually been decided. I know it's right in the middle of a process, but at least we've had set that conversation. IUC, came to town, there was a public hearing, there's things in motion at least there. Whereas the other, not yet.
Right.
If they do, we should act accordingly.
Definitely need language. I don't know how far out our ability to control goes. Does it stop at our city limit? Do we have that extra 2 mile radius to control that? We need the language.
Well, I would sit there, Shane, or it's what, 2 miles? Any attempted annexation is 2 miles, correct, from the city?
Or plat reviews.
Yeah.
So we couldn't find any legal recourse if we wanted to say no. So that could be handed to Dan Manning as well as,
You're saying the ordinance that Lund County passed?
no, the 2 mile review that we have authority. What happens if we say no? We don't know.
I'm second Dan's motion. I think that get this ball rolling sooner than later because it's here, something different.
A motion and a second, any further discussion? Need a vote then, please, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Or we don't, I didn't hear you, Deb, I'm
I
sorry.
didn't either.
I know we're all starting to, yeah, okay.
I would maybe also, ask Dan for a potential estimated cost.
What I was thinking, let's put a cap on this.
2 to 3 Prairie Creek bathrooms.
Okay,
Nope, he's not on the phone anymore.
so it sounds like the immediate action on that is to contact Dan Manning. About our concerns and see how he can help us. Guess I'll put it,
May I be involved in that?
contacting him or,
Well, no, you can do the outreach and saying, can I be involved in that
Dan's the
conversation?
lead of the committee, so I think he needs.
I mean, I can reach out to them and say, our council would like for you to be involved and then we'll go from there. Okay. Moving on. Item number 38, the claims list. Anyone have any questions about the bills that need to be paid? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the claims. Working. Second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, item 39, have an opportunity for citizens not on the agenda. You can speak to any topic, but the council will not respond or discuss. Anything? Okay, anybody online or on the phone? Did they have call go in? I don't. All right. So, mayor's comments. A lot of good discussions this evening. I don't think I have any additional comments. So I'll take us down to, Cynthia, do you have any comments?
Just that, the conference in Des Moines tomorrow is about our new software. It's probably.
So that's Edmonds.
Yep.
And, maybe a quick update on where we stand with our conversion with them. Anything happen?
Well, they've done 2 or 3 data polls. I had a 2-hour conversation with them yesterday about our business processes. They are planning to start the conversion in September, start training availability on our data. They set up test mode, but with our actual data. In August, they got back to me with, because we have to order new checks. They're checking into, a summary or a line item detail conversion, and they'll get more information to us about that, so that's all I know.
Okay. I need a motion to adjourn, because all in favor?
I.
Did somebody second it?
Second.
Okay. Done.
I have a question. Yeah. I didn't get it. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Can you email me that?
Oh, yeah, the bond, yeah, I know they sent me the, I got the PowerPoint, I'm not sure they sent the video yet.
Yeah.
Give me your packet of info.
And all in is all in, it's like.
Yeah, I do. Well, I do sometimes Saturday council, when you get there and see it, there's a process that I need to follow. You know, whatever, well.